Hello there, welcome to today's tutorial, and in this tutorial we're going to be talking about HTML styles. Let's go. So when talking about HTML styles, there are a lot of things you need to know about styling your HTML web page. The fact that when styling HTML pages, we use mostly CSS. So basically, your HTML has a bit of CSS embedded in it already, and so for that reason, it defines the HTML styles into three basic categories. The first one is the styles, the second one is the internal styles, and third one is the external styles. Over the course of this tutorial, we're going to be diving more into the inline styles, in which we have been using some of them in our code flow tutorial. I'm going to open the website project and I'm going to load the HTML, not the intergalactic, the HTML, and you can open this with your code, the Visual Studio Code. So it's kind of very easy to use inline styling than the rest of them. I mean, the inline styling just involves you using the style element, the HTML style element, and with just some few style attributes you can get the stuff running pretty fast. So anyway, we're gonna get around some the CSS as time goes on. And HTML, you know, the style HTML, we use CSS. CSS stands for cascading style sheets. And so if you want to talk more about CSS, you can watch the CSS tutorial, which will come very soon. You can watch that one and get yourself started in the CSS aspect. So right now, I mean, it's gonna be loading for a while. So let's scroll down a bit and let's get this started. So as usual, the first thing we are actually meant to do is to create the comment. We have a comment right here, and we're gonna put the two dash, and we're gonna write making an HTML style. We're creating an HTML style. We're creating an HTML style. Okay, and we know we're actually going to be exploring three types of the style. We're going to explore the inline, the internal, and the external style sheets. So for now, let's try and explore the internal aspect of CSS. The inline CSS. Okay, and I think we'll be making use of them. Okay, sometimes I think around. Oh my god, we cannot start to. Okay, yeah, this. We'll be making use of them right here. We're making use of some of them right here. So we're making use of them as an attribute to div element or to even paragraph element. So anyway, let's do something. Let's try and create something. So first, I want to create a element, and you can type anything you want to type into the paragraph. This is going to be my first blue element, and this will be cool. Okay, so now to get yourself started with inline styling, all you have to do is to create the attribute style. You know, we have other attributes like like the span, like the we have the style. We have other attributes. We have other attributes you can use with the paragraph tag. Okay, so anyway, we're gonna talk about that later. But first of all, let's use the style. Okay, the style. Click on the style, and right here you got some list of some styles you can add to your stuff. Okay, but just for simplicity, let's change the color. I want to change the color to blue, and that's very simple. We're changing the color to blue, so we can actually save this, and once we save this, we can go back to our Chrome. Okay, I think I really want to open this with Google Chrome. I don't know if it's gonna take a while, but it should work perfectly. Okay, we have a blank screen. Great. And if we were to scroll down, we can see this is going to be my first blue element, and this will be cool, and it is blue. So that's the first case of inline style. Let's try another example. Okay, I think I have another example here. We have the h1. Let's create the h1 tag, and I want to write I love to do creative things. Quite amazing. So let's actually give this a style attribute, and I think I'm tired of changing the rest of the colors. I want to change the background color. I want to change it to brown, and I can save this. You can type, the interesting part of this application is that it helps me to write my code more easily, but it's because of the plugins there. So the plugins, get into the plugin section. You can actually always check the extension, this extension part, and right here you can see the list of the extensions I've installed. We've not gotten to the Android tutorials yet anyway, but if you scroll down, you'll see the Bootstrap, the C# extensions, and maybe you can see the R programming language, and you can see the HTML CSS support. So you can try and download this one. It's kind of quite great. Maybe it's going to be very useful for you, and you can scroll down and maybe download some OpenPHP and the rest, and let's see how far that goes. So I'm going to close this right here. Okay, yeah, that does it. So we can actually save this, and once we go back to our Google Chrome to preview this, we're gonna see, you can see the text is right here, and it's written with, see, the brown is just the background of the text. So that gives us a bit of an insight into inline CSS. When we get to the CSS aspect, this is the first thing we're actually going to to explain. We're going to explain all of this so that we can give ourselves a recap of what we're about to get into. So now we're going to talk about the other forms of CSS, especially the internal CSS. Okay, and internal CSS is actually used to define a style for just a single HTML page. And actually it involves something even much more delicate. Remember that we actually talked about using the div and the span tag. Now we actually created what we call ID and classes, div ID and classes. Okay, we said we can style things with div ID and classes. So make sure you check the ID and the class tutorial. We can use div ID and class to style things. They work hand in hand with this particular topic, so make sure you explore them so that you can get a better, more understanding of that. So in div, we do give ID, and sometimes we do give div to some. So we do give ID, and we do give class to some elements. So now what the entire issue is the fact that this ID and the class have specific things that we use them to do. We use them to style things at times. Things that have the ID, to represent them in CSS, we use the hash symbol. Things that use classes, we use the dots to represent them right here. So right now, to type in your code, your internal CSS code, we are to create a new element right here called style. Okay, and we can close this, and in the middle of the style, we can actually create what we want. For example, if you want to change the background color, so you can select body, and you have this open parenthesis like this, background color. You can see background color, and I want it to be blue. So with this, I've just styled the entire pages. So this is the body, right? So that means everything in the body is going to be blue. So how do we test that? We can go back to our Chrome and reload this, and you can see everything is blue. This is quite amazing. But first, I don't want my background to be blue. It's kind of dumb. I want to change it to something like this. I'm gonna save this, and once I go back to my Chrome and preview this, boom, we got this. So that's it. And okay, let's try styling something else entirely. We actually said that you can also use tag. Okay, if you use maybe just the h1 tag right here, and you give it an open parenthesis, and you can select color. Now note that once you write h1 tag right here, that means you're seeing that every h1 tag right in this area has the probability of having just one color. That means it must have the same color right here. So I want to change it to color. I want color black. Oh, sorry, that won't be visible. I really, let me scroll through. I want to change this to maybe color green. Okay, so you can type in the code still, color green. And let's go back to our Chrome and preview this, and you can see that every H1 is color green. So this is very amazing. Every H1 is color green, including this one too. So we can actually use this to style multiple things, okay? And so when we talk about the ID and the class attributes in the next tutorial, you're going to learn how to use them with HTML styles too. So this is how to create your internal CSS. Now about the external one, let's give it a go. So how does the external CSS, how does it work? It is just to define the style of many HTML pages, okay? And to use an external style sheet, we add a link to it in the head section of each HTML page, okay? So now this is the head, okay? And right in the head too, we can also give it a link to some external style sheets. To write we use the link element, okay? And we can close it, but right in the middle of the link element, we can give it an attribute rel. That's like a form of reference to the style sheet, and we can write our style sheet, okay? And after giving it the style sheet attribute, we can now give a link to our style sheet, which we don't have right here. You can just put the slash there, okay? We'll find it later. So first save this, don't preview anything. Now go to file, create a new file, select the language and type in CSS. Quite amazing. Now CSS, don't be asking me, don't ask me what's the difference between SCSS and CSS, okay? We're just dealing with CSS for now. Alright, so let's say we want to call it test CSS, okay? We're going to go back to our website and save it in the CSS folder. We're trying to put our document in good arrangement, and once we save that, we got our test CSS. Now, you can actually, we've explored those aspects, but anyway, we're still going to explore the rest of the aspect though. So we have the test CSS right here, but you know one thing I want us to do? Let's delete this body. I want us to delete this body so that we can really test it very well. So let's delete this body so we can have this remaining. So now this test CSS, we want to link it to those main HTML. So this href, delete the slash, put in the slash again, then scroll down. You know how we do it. Okay, scroll down, go to user, then scroll down again to desktop. Okay, and sorry, put the slash again. Then we have this website project. Then you can import your CSS, and I want to use the test CSS. So basically that's just my simple CSS. Now how do we know if it's been linked? How do we know if it's worked? Now remember that we have this body tag right here. What if we paste it? It's gonna work. Anyway, let's create a new body. Okay, let's create a new body and let's give it open parentheses. Yeah, I'm gonna do more of this in CSS anyway, but anyway, it's worth trying. Okay, background color, and we can change this to one of the background color to be brown. And so we've managed to style it just a bit. Also, we can give it a bit of an addition. I want the H6, all the H6 elements, I want their color. The color of the H6 element, I want it to be aqua. And so I think that fixes it all. So that's actually just a bit of the few things we can do right now. So right now let's go to our Chrome and let's preview this, and you can see that the external style sheet is affecting the web page. We've linked it and it's affecting it, and all the H6 elements, they are aqua. See, this is H6, it is aqua in color. I think that's the only H6 we have, so that makes much more sense right now. So you know what we're gonna do so we can retain normal color? You know what we're actually gonna do? So let's change the color back to, you can type in the following codes, or if you're not comfortable typing in such codes, I wouldn't type it either. Okay, you know what to do, just open this and you can just choose another color. I think I would love the beige. Then save this, and once we go back to our Chrome, let's preview this, and we have this beige. Looks quite amazing. So that's all for now. I'll see you in the next tutorial as we talk about ID and class tag. Thank you.